Yo, what is up everybody? It's me, Don Weeb here, back with part 12 after a month of waiting for a new part of What If Naruto Had One For All. Last time, our two heroes had left on their journey for 3 years to become stronger so that one may defeat his elder brother and the other may defeat the beast inside of him, as well as conquer the massive mountain of power that is One For All. Now, let's get back after 3 years, where now Naruto and Sasuke have both matured. If you have not already, go back to the past video, part 11, and go watch it. And yeah, thank you all so much. If you have not already, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below what you think of this video, and subscribe to the channel for more content from me, Don Weeb. And if you want other kind of videos from me, if you like me for some reason, I have a second channel called Weeb where I'll be posting gaming videos and Reddit reaction videos and just stuff. So that's just kind of random things. But anyway, let's get on with this video, and I will see all of you guys there. 6 months before Naruto returns to the Leaf Village, we see a dark, shadowy form as Naruto is asleep, as he begins to awaken into some sort of dreamlike state. As Naruto looks up and down, he realizes that he's not in his own body anymore, and that, in fact, his body only has maybe 30 or 40% of it at maximum surrounding his entire face, which allows him to speak and at least move and look around. As Naruto looks around to where he could be in this dark, shadowy place, he would then see people, hundreds of people, in fact, as he stands out to look around, as he realizes that he's at the very edge of a long line. When he looks back, he sees a few people. He sees someone he recognizes, seemingly familiar, with blonde hair and a weird white robe around him. He has blue eyes that look kind and strong. Naruto would turn over just as he's about to ask something, when suddenly all of the forms moved as their eyes looked towards Naruto. Ah, yes, the 1423rd user. This is what the old man would say, as he turns over to finally look that down the line a man has appeared. As this man, who appeared old from afar, as he steps closer towards Naruto, would become younger and younger, until Naruto sees a young man with bright blonde hair, who seems very familiar to him as well. He would then put a hand on Naruto's face and say, "It's finally time that they met," as Naruto would have no idea what's going on. This man would explain that he is of the Namikaze clan, just as Naruto was, and that, in fact, he had been passed down a very strong ability that had been flowing through their veins for a very, very long time. As he gestures back to the rest of his kin, he would then tell Naruto that all of their power resides in him, and that each of their souls had donated one sliver of their power before they had passed on to the next world, in order to grow this power, the power of all, one for all. This is what he would say as he looks into Naruto's eyes. Naruto is about to speak when this Namikaze elder, or the original user of One For All in this world, would tell Naruto that he has much to tell him before he escapes this dream world and goes back to the real world itself. He tells Naruto that One For All hadn't come from nothing, and that in fact an ancient evil had awakened it long ago. As Naruto listens to this, he's curious about what this could mean, as this man begins to explain that there was a clan who came from the stars, and their power and their genes were so strong that they could ravage humans with ease. Even our strongest among us couldn't defend against them. We had to hide from her ruthlessness. As the man's eyes fade off, he then says that the power of One For All had to come from hope, from our entire family banding together, hoping that one day we could eventually defeat her. Naruto would ask, who is this? Who is this person? Her name is Immediately, Naruto falls out of this dreamlike state as he wakes up in the real world as Jiraiya wakes him up. Naruto would be breathing heavily as he asks Jiraiya what's going on. Jiraiya would poke towards the sunlight, as now he says that he thinks that Naruto's just about trained up enough to where he's about ready to go. Naruto, who still has 6 months left of his training, would continue to train with Jiraiya. However, he would not see any significant dreams like he had before, as he begins to forget about the dream. Naruto is walking back towards the Leaf Village, as he now has his new outfit and clothing that Jiraiya had bought for him. As he finally makes it back, Naruto takes a deep stretch as he looks up into the sky. As Naruto walks into the gate itself, he would then smell something familiar. Ichiraku ramen, Naruto would say, as his tongue begins to loll out of his mouth, with him feeling the need to feast on ramen after so long. Jiraiya would put a hand on his shoulder and tell him that they need to report to Tsunade first, however. Naruto would smile and say he can wait that long at least. Naruto has now gained access to a solid use without hurting his body of 70% of One For All. In the 3 years that Naruto has had, during the last 6 months he had finally accumulated enough strength, as well as his body having grown for him to contain more of its power. As Naruto and Jiraiya now make it towards Tsunade's office, as Naruto jumps onto the roof with little to no effort, looking around his precious, beautiful village. As Sakura comes out of the house that she had just been inside of, and turns around looking at the guards who had been astonished, she looks up to see Naruto, or who she thinks is Naruto, standing on the top of the roof as he looks over the Leaf Village. She would then turn over and see Master Jiraiya as she greets him, with him responding back, of course. As he jumps down, Sakura would then look towards Naruto and say that he's late. Naruto would ask what he means when suddenly Sasuke comes out from behind, as Sasuke appears seemingly right behind Naruto without him noticing. Why, hey there, Naruto. Yes, the Slowpoke's finally returned. Naruto would jump as he had actually let his guard down and Sasuke had snuck behind him. Naruto would cover his head as he said he scared him half to death, with Sasuke laughing. Kakashi would also come walking into the picture, as he would tell Jiraiya that Tsunade has been expecting them. Jiraiya and now Naruto would make their way towards the Hokage's office, along with Sasuke and Sakura. As they make it into the office itself, opening the door with a small creak on the metal hinges that have rusted a bit. As they walk into the room, they can smell the books and paper that Tsunade has been filing for years, as the ink on that has dried and left this musty scent in the air. Tsunade would turn around as her chair squeaks and looks up towards Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, her own student. She then greets all 3 of them, saying welcome back Team 7, as she has her first mission for all of them to test their strength today, now that Naruto has finally returned, with her giving an annoyed look to Jiraiya. Jiraiya would shrug his shoulders and tell her that they got back as soon as they could, with her sighing. Tsunade would then say that she has a test for all 3 of them to complete, to see how much stronger they've gotten over the past 3 years. Naruto would be ready for anything, along with Sasuke, and she says that they'll be fighting Master Jiraiya and Kakashi. Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Tsunade would head over towards the area, where Tsunade would act as a judge, with Kakashi and Jiraiya's only test is to be able to not let each of their single bells be taken. Both of them would have 1 bell, and the mission was for all 3 of them to for 2 of the 3 to grab the bells. Naruto would say he'll take Kakashi, as Sasuke prepares to go after Jiraiya. As soon as the test starts with a whistle as Tsunade blows it, Naruto would then burst forward, an amount of orange lightning bursting over his body as he summons One For All throughout his entire form. As Naruto uses his own version of full cowling, he blitzes through the forest as he jumps from tree to tree, leaving an orange light trail behind him. Sasuke suddenly disappears as he activates his Sharingan and hides into the shadows of the trees, looking for Jiraiya. As Naruto begins to hunt down Kakashi, we hear Kakashi's voice call out, "That's the problem with your technique and your Kikigenkai, Naruto. It's too flashy. It's easy to see for someone who's hiding in the darkness." Kakashi would throw some shuriken towards Naruto, whose reaction speed is so high based off the 70% boost he has, that from them coming this close, they look merely like harmless little flies, moving at the speed of a paper airplane. He immediately stops as he sees them slowly spinning towards him. Naruto would flick one of them back as he slightly moves the other with his finger, standing there completely still. Suddenly, one of the shuriken goes flying back towards he had heard Kakashi's voice, who dodges out of the way as we hear foliage rustling. There you are, Kakashi. Naruto would charge energy into his feet as he uses his chakra and pushes off the tree, causing it to snap in two. As Naruto goes bursting in full strength towards Kakashi, as Naruto tackles Kakashi's clone directly into the ground, causing a huge crater from his strength, Kakashi's clone would poof immediately as Naruto realized he's been had. Suddenly a net would fall above as he sees it falling over him in slow motion. This is child's play, Naruto would think, as he walks backwards, taking a few steps. The net falls with Naruto having revived himself off the ground rather quickly. As Kakashi is surprised with Naruto's speed being incredibly fast, he wonders how much of One For All that Naruto could have even mastered, as Minato-sensei, his own master, had only mastered around 55% of it so far that he had seen. Naruto would smile as he asked Kakashi if he's scared yet. Kakashi would make a sly remark as he tells him that he still hasn't gotten him yet and he shouldn't be so cocky. Naruto would laugh as he then says that the 3 years he's been training weren't for nothing, you know, as suddenly Naruto creates some of his own shadow clones, which he all portions One For All into. As he cuts his 70% of One For All into two halves, he now gives his two shadow clones 35% of One For All each, while he takes a break and sits back and relaxes. Oh, you deactivated One For All, Kakashi says, as he uses his shadow clone to relay information to Kakashi so as he can spy on Naruto and track his movements. As Naruto's clones head out, one of them immediately blitzes forward, as Kakashi's clone is basically on par with Naruto's. Naruto watches as their two clones battle out, with Naruto using a Konoha Smash as he smashes Kakashi's shadow clone into the ground, causing it to poof, along with the radio he had held with him having been destroyed. The other shadow clone continues to pace after Kakashi, as we now switch our perspective to Sasuke and our master of Jiraiya. As Sasuke's battle with Jiraiya begins, Sasuke had used his Sharingan to search through the forest to find any tracking that Jiraiya might have left. As he hears the frog croaking, he immediately uses a fireball jutsu towards it, which Jiraiya would dodge out of the way, using his own fire toad oil jutsu to blast the fireball back. As Jiraiya uses the smoke, he comes crashing down with a fist directly towards Sasuke's face. As Sasuke dodges out of this attack using his Sharingan, he would come up with an upper kick directly into Jiraiya's gut, sending him flying up into the air. Jiraiya would take advantage of the situation, however, as he uses one of his own ninjutsu by creating the Toad Stomach to give him a hard shell and a soft landing. As he falls into the tree forest below, the Toad's stomach would actually act as a shell for his body, which Sasuke wouldn't be able to penetrate that easily. As Jiraiya would dig underneath the actual Toad Stomach itself, he would burrow underground as he uses the Headhunter Jutsu to grab Sasuke's legs and pull him beneath. Sasuke would look down as he thinks, "Damn, again?" He then looks over to see where Jiraiya could go, as Jiraiya appears before him. "Well, there you see, Sasuke, that's the great Jiraiya for you. After all, I am one of the legendary Sannin." Sasuke would sigh, as he then tells Jiraiya that this isn't over yet, when suddenly he uses the substitution jutsu as a wood block falls on Jiraiya's foot, causing him to pull it up into the air. Sasuke comes raging down from the top of the tree with a Chidori in hand as he's about to pierce it into Jiraiya. Jiraiya quickly uses his own substitution jutsu as his wood block is pierced and destroyed. Sasuke would then go after Jiraiya as the two continue to clash. We now go back to see Naruto and Kakashi fighting, as Kakashi then comes in with his real body actually, using his own Chidori on Naruto. As soon as the Chidori is about to pierce Naruto, Naruto dodges out of the way as he grabs the Chidori and squeezes Kakashi's hand. "Kakashi-sensei, give me the bell!" Naruto would say in a almost charismatic tone, as he holds Kakashi's hand tightly. Why would I ever give my bell to you, Naruto?" Naruto begins to crunch his hand as he puts a slightly more amount of power into his hand using One For All. 1%. Orange lightning begins to flicker across his hand as his hand tightens around Kakashi's. 2%. It begins to increase again as the muscles in his hand grow. 3%. Kakashi begins to feel strain on his muscles and bones. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%. Naruto would say as his tightening grip is causing Kakashi to lose blood in his hand, as he's beginning to breathe heavily as he feels the pain in his muscles beginning to ebb out from the nerves dying. Kakashi would then be surprised as the clone from Naruto from earlier comes up from behind and grabs the bell. Naruto would immediately let go as he asks if Kakashi's okay. Kakashi would breathe heavily and say that Naruto is way too fast for his own good, as he couldn't even track him with the Sharingan when he was going all out before. Naruto, who was only using 60% of One For All, would smile as he says, "I'm surprised you could even keep up with me at all." He would then say that Kakashi was super strong back then in the day, but now that he's mastered his power, there's no one that can defeat him. Naruto would say this confidently, but before he whispers that, besides Sakura, of course, if she ever punches me, I'd be dead. Sakura finally comes raging around the corner as she tells Naruto that was her bell. Naruto's eyes widen as he says he didn't do it, as he immediately turns on One For All and jumps into the trees, escaping. Kakashi would sigh as he looks after Naruto, thinking that he's become much stronger than he would have ever anticipated. Sasuke has also retrieved the bell from Jiraiya now, as he somehow sneaks underground using the Chidori as a burrower, and uses this distraction of the Chidori's explosion to get behind Jiraiya as he grabs the bell from him, both of them now claiming victory. Tsunade would call the event over as the two had finished their examination, and they had passed without needing very much teamwork at all, besides Naruto using his shadow clones with himself. Both of them had become extremely strong, and that point had been absolutely certain. Now Team 7 retires back to their own original rooms as they leave the forest training area and get back to their houses. Naruto opens the door of his house for the first time in 3 years and sees that it's covered with dust. He immediately begins cleaning as he creates shadow clones who all rush around the house cleaning all of the dust. Naruto lay in his bed looking up out the window to the left of him as he sees stars twinkling in the sky and the bright moonlight shining down on Konoha. He thinks about it as he holds his bell up that he snatched from Kakashi and wonders how strong he is compared to those guys now, like the guy Itachi that Sasuke wants to kill. He thinks about this and wonders if Sasuke still really wants to kill Itachi, as he then closes his eyes and falls asleep. The next morning, Naruto would get a knock at the door as Sasuke and Sakura have come to awaken him. As Naruto rushes out, with him his jacket barely pulled on, he asks what's up. They say that they've had a mission sent to them from the Sand Village. Apparently Gar's been kidnapped. What? Naruto would think, as they all begin to rush towards the Hokage's office. If you guys want to see the next part for What If Naruto Had One For All, make sure to give this series plenty of support, and if you do like it and hit the like button, that would be awesome too. And make sure to hit the notification bell, subscribe, all of that stuff, and I'll see all of you people later. Bye.